Hey folks, this is BestInSlot and welcome back to today's coverage of the brand new Dominion Biosyn expansion for Jurassic World Evolution 2. Throughout today's videos, we've done lots of videos on that new expansion on the paid DLC, but of course, there's a big chunky free update on the way as well. Update 3, and whether you buy the DLC or not, you'll have access to this update tomorrow when the update goes live. I've said update far too many times already, never again. So update 3 is coming tomorrow. What will be included? Let's go through that right now in this video. I should mention very quickly that the map we're playing on, however, is part of that Dominion Biosyn expansion, and is therefore not part of the free update. So first of all, we've had some pretty cool sandbox changes. First one, if I come down here to my Triceratops, you'll see there's no ranger outpost here in this exhibit, but if I click on my Triceratops, who's been here for bloody ages now, you'll see that we have access to all their information here, all their information here. We can see exactly what it is they're lacking. So basically they've toggled the option for having ranger outposts necessary. You no longer need to send your vehicles out to check on your dinosaurs if you want to know how they're doing, which is pretty good. You can also toggle off injuries. So if you want your dinosaurs to still fight and hunt and stuff like that, but not get injured in the process, you can toggle that off if you want as well. Just nice to have more options, nice to have a little bit more freedom. It's what we're always asking for. Also, in terms of options, there's been some changes to the buildings. So over here we have a control center. Now in the past, if we go into operations, and as you can see here, that's our control center. It says restricted 1 out of 1 built. You can only have one control center, you can only have one expedition center, one science center. These are buildings that, in terms of utility, you would never need more than one. But in terms of decoration, for example, it would sometimes be useful, as I've experienced with my horror park build. Now, even though it says restricted 1 out of 1, I'm assuming that's a bug that'll be fixed at some point. If I want to, I can actually just place this building, and actually, because it's a decoration, as you can see, it'll place instantaneously. I don't know if that's going to be a permanent change, but right now that's the case. So if you wanted to stack these buildings, use them as background decorations, or just have them all over your park for whatever reason, you can now do that as well. It's a little bit less restricted. Tours have received some pretty great changes. First of all, there is a free new guided tour to absolutely everyone. As I say, this is part of the free update. So this is part of the DFW building set. It's a guided tour for the DFW. So you can see it's kind of got that utility, researchy sort of look. It's not meant to look pretty, but if you're building a DFW park, you can now have a tour. This is quite important, really, because console players, of course, are restricted. By console players, I should mean last-gen console players, are restricted to a certain building set. And in the past, if you wanted to play with the DFW set, you couldn't have a guided tour. Now you can. There isn't one, for some reason, for the new Biosyn set. Actually, there's nothing for the new Biosyn set. So I think this is one that you'll just want to fold into other stuff, or play on more modern hardware, really. And of course that means a new vehicle as well. It's very similar to the Jurassic Tour one, of course. It is just like a little free thing, so I wouldn't expect the world, but it's got the DFW logo there, the Fish and Wildlife Service Department, blah 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 blah, and it's got a new paint job, as you can see. It looks more like a sort of rangery, head out into the wilderness sort of vehicle, which makes a lot of sense for what it will be used for in your playthroughs. So that's really cool, and tours themselves have received some pretty great changes. First of all, you can see the view range on them is much, much larger. They've said that basically everyone's been given binoculars. So tour vehicles can now see from a much greater distance. Just makes them more useful, basically, for your parks. You can also now, if I click this second tab over here, you can change your vehicle capacity. So basically, if you want to have lots of dinosaurs for a fairly safe habitat, you can do that 1 vehicle per 60 meters. That means there's going to be loads of vehicles moving for your tour. And if you wanted to space them out, maybe you've got a Rex habitat or something that you're trying to tour through, but you don't want to annoy your Rex for obvious reasons, you can do 1 vehicle per 200 meters instead. Nice change. Not really a big deal, but you know, little bonus. This, however, is quite a big deal. So if we come over here and go to a hatchery, you'll see there's no path to the arrival point. Path is there, and hatcheries, as with most buildings in the game, need to be attached to your arrival point, which over here is that control center. However, thanks to changes in the patch, if we now connect this tour here, that tour is also connected, this tour isn't, but if we connect this tour with our hatchery, you'll see the hatchery now functions. So basically tours, and this makes a lot of sense when you think about it, but tours can now act as a transport, which is actually quite a big deal. In the past, if you wanted these 2 disparate sections to be connected, you would either have to string a path all the way along, or you'd have to use a monorail. Those were really the only options. Now you can use a tour to do it. That's going to look a lot nicer, and it means you can kind of split your park up into little bits without having like a super noticeable path or monorail connecting them, because also the tour is a lot more subtle. This is actually a really, really good change. I'm really happy about this one in particular. There's also some new contracts, so especially if you're playing challenge mode, you'll run into those. I don't know what those would be, but that's a thing. And we have a whole new mechanic, seemingly. So if we hop into our response facility, grab our ranger team and go to drive, you'll see here on the left hand side in equipment we now have a bunch of new options. We've got send, summon circle and summon cone, and I do not know where my habitat is. it's over there. Without having to tranquilize your dinosaurs and move your dinosaurs, let's say there's been a dinosaur breakout and you've got like 5 trikes running around, you can use this mechanic to control them all. Or indeed, if you want to move your dinosaurs from one habitat to another, you can use these mechanics. So let's give this a go. If we click it, it'll zoom out, as you can see. If we want to send, for example, I want to move my trike over to the white bit over there. Boop. I just click, move over here. Very badly controlling. Boop. Click over there. And hopefully, as you'll see, yeah, as you can see, the trike is moving now in that direction over there on the far side, and so is that one over there. And as you can see, it's sort of highlighted by how many you get. You can increase the size. So if I go over here to the left and I click again, all of these trikes, look at them all getting up, ready to move, and they're all going to send in that direction. It's actually a really cool little mechanic. I was not expecting to like it as much as I do, but I think it's actually I don't know how useful it is, if I'm totally honest, but it is awesome. Again, it really reminds me of Jurassic Park Operation Genesis. As far as I know, this is going to be quite a prominent mechanic in the Chaos Theory as well, so keep an eye out for that on the channel in the coming days. But of course, we've got some more as well. We've got Summon Circle. So if I want to summon these dinosaurs to me, wait for it, if I move forward a little bit, get them all highlighted, click. And they're all in my summon circle and all the trikes just move towards me. And if I wanted to, I could kind of keep clicking and sort of lure them like so. Or it might be a little easier with the other one, the summon cone, which you can see is much more controlled than that. And it's just going to bring those center 4 to me. And if I wanted to maybe swing around and grab. You can see it's controlled by not where the car's facing. You kind of do this, so it's quite easy to control. Boop. Boop. And there they are. Isn't that great? I really, really like it. I'd like to see like more missions and campaign and stuff that actively uses it as a mechanic. If we get like a little mission system like JPOG had, that would be awesome. So anyways, that's a new dinosaur wrangling mechanic. We are nearly done, but there is a couple other things. So if we go to our capture team over here, and we go to add task, you'll see there's a new thing over here. So we've got our usual tranquilize, but if I press R, boop, it'll now say tranquilize and move. So I click, and then I can decide where it's going to go instantaneously. So basically the helicopter will come around, it will tranquilize the dinosaur, and as soon as the dinosaur's been tranquilized, it will automatically be moved to its new position. So you no longer have to tranquilize your dinosaur, then go to move and then transport it. You can do it all in one big sweep, which is actually really good and really useful. If you want to do that in a different way, I'm just going to speed up time here a little bit. What we're going to do is tranquilize our Triceratops. So if you want to move one dinosaur, this would now be the quickest way to do it, right? The auto tranquilize and move is quite useful. If you want to do this a different way, maybe you're trying to move all 5 trikes, you don't want to use the wrangling, you don't want to do it individually one by one, send your helicopter to go tranquilize all your dinosaurs. Like so. Come here, cheeky little blighter. And we'll grab you as well while we're here. And then what you do is you go to the move tool, the transport tool, and you'll see there's a new multi-select mode. So we click that, and then as you can see, when I click that, I don't get the line instantly. And what I can do is then click all my Triceratops as so. There's one in there somewhere. And then if I want to move them, say, over here, I go to finalize selection, and then suddenly, boop, 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 like so. So the moves will then, it just means I don't have to click and move and click and move and click and move and click and move, which sometimes is really annoying if you're moving your dinosaurs across like the entire park. So this is a really nice way to do that as well. Just a little bit of bonus utility, but yeah, super helpful. Just really nice changes, things that I haven't thought about. Like this was an issue, but I didn't, I hadn't really considered the solution. It's really nice that Frontier are doing that. I do think Update 3 is maybe a little bit smaller than the past 2 free updates, but you know what, making this video and going through everything included, It's pretty chunky, it must be said. It's not a small update by any stretch of the imagination. We're not quite done. There's one final thing I want to show you. The final part of the update is, as you can see, there's new maps in challenge mode. A little new icon there. We click here, and there's 5 new maps in challenge. So if you like challenge mode, your challenge mode has doubled in size, which must be really exciting for people who love this mode. And these are all based on chaos theory. So we've got Jurassic Park, San Diego, Isla Sorna Site B, Jurassic World, and Return to Isla Nublar. I'm a little surprised there isn't one based on the new Dominion chaos theory. I thought there would be, but either way, 5 new challenge modes. There isn't a reward for them. Obviously, we used to get these cosmetic genes as a reward. That isn't part of it anymore, but that kind of takes the pressure off a little bit as well. You don't have to do these if you don't want to. You know, you're not going to miss out on anything, but if you like challenge modes, you've now doubled your options. And as I say, they are all based on the chaos theory. So let's read the San Diego one. A new branch of Jurassic Park constructed on the mainland is missing the most important ingredient, dinosaurs. Shipping delays mean the star attractions are yet to arrive. Meanwhile, the park is burning through capital and still needs to be prepared for the new arrivals. So you can see how that kind of sounds a bit like the chaos theory, but obviously things will be a little bit different. So quite a lot of content for free players as well. You do not need the DLC to access any of what I just showed you in today's video. So hopefully exciting stuff for all of you at home, regardless of your perspective. My biggest surprise is that wrangling. I really thought, I still don't think it's useful. I'm not going to lie, but I can see it being fun. And you know what it is? It's the first, I don't know how long it's been, but it's the first time we've had a new mechanic, like a new gameplay mechanic, in a really, really long time. I can't think of a single one ever, actually. I'm sure there has been, you know, the games have had a long history at this point, but it's a brand new mechanic, like a new gameplay function, and I think that's really cool, and I think that's the kind of thing I want to see more of going forward. New ways to mix up the gameplay of the game and have us doing different things as players. My one criticism of all of this is still the lack of attractions. I think that is a burning need more than anything else. Personally, I would buy a pack that is just attractions. I really would, and I think a lot of people feel the same. But you know what? Overall, it's a really, really cool free update, and you know, I know people take issue a little bit with Dominion Biosyn expansion's price, blah, 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 blah. But considering the size of the free updates that Frontier keep working on and the work they put into this game, I think, you know, it's a nice mix, and it's nice to support them for the free stuff by paying a little for the DLC, in my opinion. But, you know, it's always up to you as a consumer. Right, thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you lovely folks very soon. I think this might be the last video of the day, but it's always hard to know until the actual day comes. But if it is, thank you so much for joining me today. I think I've done 8 videos. I've got 8 planned anyway, so it's been a long day. It's been a long-ass weekend, and I really hope you've enjoyed the content. Throw me a like below. Let me know what part of this update you'd be most excited for. Cheers, much love as always. Bye-bye.
Reaching out.